We are given three angles and asked to determine the reference angle. A reference angle for a given angle in standard position is the positive acute angle formed by the x-axis and the terminal side of the given angle. Looking at the graph below, we have a terminal side in each quadrant and the corresponding reference angle is labeled. Notice how the reference angle is the acute angle formed by either the positive x-axis or negative x-axis and the terminal side of the angle in standard position. Going back to our problem, let's first sketch 256 degrees in standard position. We begin along the positive x-axis and rotate counterclockwise 256 degrees. Well, if we rotate to the negative x-axis, this should be 180 degrees. Because we want to sketch 256 degrees, we need to rotate another 76 degrees past the negative x-axis. So the terminal side would be approximately here, and therefore this is the angle 256 degrees in standard position. The reference angle is the acute angle formed by the terminal side, this right here, and in this case the negative x-axis. So this acute angle is the reference angle, and now we need to determine the measure of this angle. If we recognize that we rotated 76 degrees past the negative x-axis to determine the terminal side of 256 degrees, we already know the reference angle is 76 degrees. If we don't recognize this, then we can take the given angle of 256 degrees and subtract 180 degrees, and that will give us the measure of the reference angle. Notice 256 degrees minus 180 degrees is equal to 76 degrees. And now let's sketch 292 degrees in standard position. We begin along the positive x-axis and rotate counterclockwise 292 degrees. But we should be able to recognize that 3/4 of a rotation is equal to 270 degrees because 90 times 3 is equal to 270. Because we want to sketch 292 degrees, we need to rotate another 22 degrees past 270 degrees. And therefore the terminal side would be approximately here for 292 degrees. And again, if we recognize that we rotated 22 degrees past the negative y-axis to determine the terminal side for 292 degrees, this should help us determine the measure of the reference angle. The reference angle is the acute angle formed by the terminal side, this right here, and the positive x-axis. This is the reference angle. So because the positive x-axis and the negative y-axis form a right angle, we should be able to recognize that if this is 22 degrees, then the reference angle must be 68 degrees. Or another way to determine the measure of the reference angle is to take one full revolution, or 360 degrees, and then subtract the given angle of 292 degrees, which will leave us with the reference angle. Notice 360 degrees minus 292 degrees is equal to 68 degrees. And now let's sketch the last angle of 105 degrees. Beginning along the positive x-axis, we rotate counterclockwise 105 degrees. 1/4 of a rotation counterclockwise is 90 degrees. And because we want to sketch 105 degrees, we need to rotate another 15 degrees past the positive y-axis. And therefore the terminal side is approximately here. This is 105 degrees in standard position. Again, if we recognize the angle between the positive y-axis and the terminal side is 15 degrees, this will help us determine the measure of the reference angle. The reference angle is the acute angle formed by the terminal side, this side here, and in this case the negative x-axis. So this is the reference angle. And again, if we recognize that there's a right angle between the positive y-axis and the negative x-axis, if this is 15 degrees, the reference angle must be 90 minus 15, or 75 degrees. Or another way to determine the measure of the reference angle is to take half a rotation, or 180 degrees, and subtract 105 degrees, which will leave us with the reference angle. Notice 180 degrees minus 105 degrees is equal to 75 degrees. I hope you found this helpful.